IR expert, international relations expert, and he has worked in the UNDP as a resource mobilization and partnership specialist. He is our facilitator for today. Thank you, sir. We have Ms. Charity as our secretary. We have Mr. Job as our rapporteur. And we have Mr. Babalola as our timekeeper. So these are the rules for today. How do we clap? Thank you very much. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. It's very important that we use diplomatic language. We're culturally sensitive. Listen actively and we think critically. Most of all, we encourage collaboration. The aim of this simulation is to achieve results through negotiation, collaboration, and problem solving. So delegates need to conduct themselves in the following manner. Respect fellow delegates. Avoid conflicts of interest. Refrain from personal attacks, whether you're doing it jokingly or refrain from it. Keep confidential information private, and most especially follow simulation guidelines. Due to the restrictions with the facility we're using, our lunch will be served after our activity for today. Thank you very much.
Good morning, representatives of the different countries and organizations in this parliament. Just before we commence, I want to give you a pep talk of why it is important that you should take this responsibility very seriously. And I want to take you 100 years back. This is 2024, and I want us to reflect on some of the things that some of our students did in 1924. In 1924, there was a student in the British Empire in London called Ladipo Sholanke. Ladipo Sholanke was a student and was the brain behind West African Students' Union in London. At that time, there were about 123 students from Africa that were studying in London. And in 1925, the British Empire, the government of the British Empire, in the bid to raise funds as part of their war efforts. You know, if you remember, the First World War ended in 1918, and many of these countries were starved of funds. So the British Empire decided to organize an exhibition of the size, the massive size of what the British Empire was, as a way to raise funds, and they did raise quite some funds. But remember that African countries and many other countries in the world, India and all of those, were part of the British Empire. So the area that was put in place to exhibit Africanness was primitive, deliberately premised to attract attention, and the black race was presented as something very, just a little away from animals and all of that stuff. And there were leaders of thought, leaders in business, leaders, religious leaders, leaders in government representing the British empires in these colonies. They were there at the exhibition, laughing their heads off and all of that stuff. But this student, this university student, Ladipo Sholapen, felt offended and wrote to the government of the British Empire and said this was a disservice to the black race, especially when Africans fought for the British Empire against the Germans and others. It was an insult to the black race because so much funds were derived from these colonies through war tax and all of that stuff. And here you are exhibiting the black race as nothing. And he went to court. Because of that student, when the leaders of thought in Africa at that time couldn't do anything, this young student made the British Empire to cancel that exhibition, to forward an apology to Africa. Marcus Garvey and a Sierra Leonean called Bankole, they saw this and they decided to assist Ladipo in his quest, to dignify the black race. Because at that time, racism, colonialism, and all of those things stood against the students in the UK. Ladipo Sholapen was able to rent an apartment that will accommodate over 100 black students, so that they can have that dignity to walk the streets of UK, of London. Let me use that. And then he ensured that African food, African clothing came to London for these students. It was at that time they now looked at themselves and said, look, if we can do this, if we can confront the British Empire in their capital city, let us now ask for independence of all the colonies in Africa. So it was not the leaders of thought of Africa at that time. It was not the traditional rulers or the religious leaders at that time that first raised the demand for independence. It was a university student. It was a university student. Ladipo Sholapen went on to become a lawyer. He started this in London. Nnamdi Azikiwe got wind of it. And Nnamdi Azikiwe was a student in the United States of America. And he began to write. He began to write about Pan-Africanism. Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana was a student, and he boarded with Ladipo Sholapen, and it was there he began to agitate for not only the independence of Ghana, but everything was done under the platform of Pan-Africanism. So while Ladipo Sholapen was a student, he found time to travel across different African colonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today addressing the pressing issue, poverty. For decades, we have been subjected to Western influence that shaped a flawed democracy that served foreign interests while leaving our people in despair. Historical exploitation has stunted our growth, and external power has manipulated our resources and governance. The coup was necessary to reclaim our sovereignty. If we do not confront poverty now, we risk plunging our nation into further chaos, bringing unrest and instability across our region. In response, our government has taken decisive action. We have redirected 30% of our national budget towards agriculture and education, improving food security for 2 million citizens and increasing school enrollment by 25% steadily in last year. We call on neighboring countries to join hands with us to accomplish our vision. We will no longer accept the status quo. Our people deserve a future free from poverty and external manipulation. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative of Burkina Faso. Representative of Burundi.
The Honorable Chairman of Your Excellencies, it is an honor to address this gathering. Today, we unite as representatives of our nations and the collective force against the lingering shadows of neo-colonialism that has left Africa with 40% of the world's extreme poverty burden and over 400 million of our people in poverty, according to the United Nations records. Despite these challenges, Burundi remains steadfast in combating poverty through targeted programs such as our micro-poverty output program, which has yielded a 2.7% growth rate annually. In line with our goals, we reaffirm our support for AFTA. We believe it is a catalyst for enhancing the economic resilience of Africa by fostering intra-African trade, hence unlocking the economic potential of Africa. Together we can create an Africa that thrives on mutual support and shared prosperity. Excellencies, Africa belongs to Africans, and it is high time Africans take care of Africa. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative of Burundi. Representative of Cameroon.
Honorable Chair, Your Excellencies, and distinguished delegates, Cameroon is rich in agricultural products and natural resources, yet we face external challenges that undermine our fight against poverty, particularly climate change, which has threatened food security. Despite this obstacle, our agricultural competitiveness project has reduced poverty level by 10% in targeted areas, reflecting our commitment to improving the livelihoods of our citizens. We are delighted to share our experience with our fellow nations. We envision a hunger and poverty-free continent and urge our African nations to adopt inclusive economic policies that empower marginalized communities. The African Continental Free Trade Area must be more than a trade framework. It should drive development and stimulate growth for all Africans. Let us commit to ensure our youth inherit a continent that is progressive and poverty-free. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative of Cameroon. Representative of Chad.
Good morning, honorables and everyone, executive members. Chad has faced various series of poverty and issues, and I'm here to actually advocate for more options that we can take into alleviating our poverty issues. Because ever since the civil war in 2005 to 2010, we have faced various issues, and I'm here to hope to alleviate most of these issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative of Chad. Representative of Cote d'Ivoire.
Good day, Mr. Chairperson, Your Excellencies, and distinguished guests. Today we stand on the threshold of history, as Africa once again comes together to renewed vigor to confront the growing crisis of poverty that affects a significant proportion of our population. Based on our own modest efforts, Cote d'Ivoire has maintained a resilient trajectory despite global and regional destruction. Yet, we have seen an average GDP growth of 6.5% between 2021 and 2023. Despite the challenges that surround micro and macroeconomic factors, our growth projections still forecast a favorable growth prospects for 2024 and 2026. This ray of hope should beacon on us to remain resilient and determined to use all opportunities available to reduce poverty exponentially on the African continent. As we gather today to foster a stronger bond in our collective efforts to
promote the implementation of African Continental Free Trade Area as a catalyst for economic cooperation. I urge each member states to accelerate the pursuit of trade enhancement, open markets, job creation, and innovation.
Thank you, Representative of Cote d'Ivoire.
Thank you.
Representative of DR Congo.
Honorable Chair, Excellencies, distinguished delegates and other guests, it is an honor to be here representing the people of the Democratic Republic of Congo, a nation that has profound challenges that have been fueled by external factors and regional strife. It truly is a shame that some of our neighbors choose to profit off the pain of our people. But regardless of our numerous challenges, we the people of the Democratic Republic of Congo are resilient and are tireless in our efforts to ensure peace and stability. And our aim for peace and stability can be seen in our decision to join the African Continental Free Trade Area. We believe that AFTA can be a catalyst as a possible unifying factor for our continent and a value addition to our economy. We, the people of the DR Congo, realize that there is work to be done. For our dreams to be actualized, we must collaborate with each other, uplift one another, and look past our shortcomings to ensure a better Africa together. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative of DR Congo. Representative of
Good day all. Honorable Chairman, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, and honored guests. It's an honor to stand for you all today as the President of the ECOWAS. ECOWAS is dedicated to creating a future where every member in the region has the resources and opportunity to live a free life from poverty. ECOWAS, as ECOWAS body, we are committed to promoting economic integration and inclusive growth, investing in education and skills development, and also strengthening social safety nets. And also as ECOWAS, we are committed to addressing climate vulnerabilities. And I hope as every member in ECOWAS region will work towards achieving these goals and objectives. Thank you all.
Thank you, Representative of ECOWAS. So I would like to make a note here that if you are not going to use up your 1 minute, you can yield to the moderator so we know who to extend their time. All right, thank you. Representative of Ethiopia.
The Executive Chairman, fellow Excellencies, distinguished heads of state, ladies and gentlemen. My motherland Ethiopia, at the heart of the Horn of Africa, stands resolute in the face of great crisis. We have laid the foundation for economic growth through policies like the Productive Safety Net Program, the Deep Challenge Fund, and the National After Implementation Strategy. We are proud to announce the reduction of poverty by 21% since 2015. Also, our economy grew from 6.4% to 7.1% between 2021 and 2023. Excellencies, poverty hinders AFTA. Therefore, we call upon our neighbors to accelerate its implementation, strengthen regional cooperation, and address conflicts. I leave you with this. Our people remain shackled by poverty, struggling at the lowest rungs of the social ladder. Yet, as the great poet Maya Angelou said, the cage bird sings of freedom. It is time to unlock that cage. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Representative of Ethiopia. Representative of Ghana.
The Executive Chairperson, fellow Excellencies, distinguished heads of state, ladies and gentlemen. I am honored to address this summit as the President of the Republic of Ghana. Your Excellency, President of Ethiopia, thank you for your invitation. The government of Ghana stands committed to addressing the environmental devastation caused by illegal mining, or galamsey, which traps vulnerable groups, especially youth, in cycles of poverty. In response, over 5,000 illegal immigrants have been deported. 76 individuals, 18 of them foreign nationals, have been convicted. As participants in the Guided Trade Initiative, we acknowledge the transformative power of the AfCFTA, but stress the importance of addressing internal disparities prior to its full implementation. Your Excellencies, it is on this note that I conclude. To create an Africa where our people thrive and our continent's potential is fully realized, we must commit to a future where prosperity is not built on the depletion of our assets through practices such as illegal mining, but on the wise stewardship of our resources. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative of Ghana. Representative of Guinea-Bissau. Representative of Guinea-Conakry.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, good afternoon. As a representative of Kenya, I am honored to address you today on the challenges our nation faces and the collective efforts required to overcome them. The economic issue. Kenya continues to grapple with high levels of poverty and unemployment, particularly among youth. These economic challenges hinder our progress and require innovative solutions and inclusive policy to ensure sustainable growth. In conclusion, addressing these challenges requires a concerted effort from the government, civil society, and international partners. Together we can work together a more equitable, sustainable, and secure future for Kenya. Thank you.
Representative of Kenya. Representative.
Honorable Chairman, Your Excellencies, it's an honor addressing this gathering today. Today, we unite to discuss the issues and challenges facing our dear continent. According to the NHRL, it said 135,000 of Libyans are vulnerable to dimensional poverty, with Libya boasting of natural resources such as oil and gas, silicia, and limestone. We believe that with all of this, we can leverage it as a foundation to end the poverty crisis in Africa. With this, we fully support the development of CAFTA for this basis. Thank you.
Chair, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to address the pressing issue of poverty in our continent. Despite 60 years of independence, we still face this challenge due to internal and external factors. Your Excellencies, we must acknowledge our own role in shaping our future. So I present to you the arrest agenda, an acronym for agriculture, roads, rule of law, education, sanitation, and tourism. Our approach leverages these sectors to combat economic stagnation. Our community development model empowers communities to feed themselves, increasing agricultural productivity and income by 30 and 60% respectively. This can be the success of the continent as a whole. We are collaborating with the AFTA and hope to collaborate with our neighbors to ensure collective success. To conclude, we must work together to create a better Africa for ourselves and future generations.
Thank you, Representative of Liberia. Representative of Mali.
The Chair, Your Excellencies and distinguished delegates, I stand before you an agitated leader of Mali, addressing the severe economic deprivation in the 21st century. Our people survive on an average of just $2.2 per day, an unacceptable outcome of an inefficient political system. Africa continues to suffer from resource exploitation and overwhelming poverty, a legacy of neocolonialism. Though Mali's separation from our neighbors is necessary, we reaffirm our commitment to democracy and plan to transition when ready. We've joined BAU and aim to adopt the ECO by 2025, taking steps toward economic independence. With a 45% poverty rate, we've launched strategies for poverty reduction, women's empowerment, and vocational training. We support AFTA to boost trade and reduce dependency. To conclude, the problem is clear, so the solution must come now. The best time for change was yesterday, today is better, but tomorrow may be too late. Long live Africa, thank you.
Representative of Mali. Representative of Malawi.
Today, Your Excellency, honorable ministers, and my fellow representatives. Today, we are here to discuss a critical issue affecting our beloved continent, poverty. And we as Malawians, despite our affirming natural beauty is when people continue to face significant development challenges. However, according to statistics, Malawi's poverty rate is recorded as 1.5%. And then to combat poverty, we must adopt a multi-phase approach that addresses this issue. And one of the ways is agricultural development, educational skills development, infrastructure development, healthcare wellness, economic empowerment, and so on. We could also promote tourism and hospitality, develop agriculture and agro-processing, and also partner with international organizations. Let's unite in this noble endeavor. Let's harness our collective potentials to build a prosperous, equitable, and vibrant continent. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative of Malawi. Representative of the Ministry for Youth Development.
Honorable Chair, Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates. Africa's youth population, being the largest of the continent, is a driving force for development. Yet, the alarming rate of destitution invariably leads to unemployment among our youth. According to the Bureau of Statistics, 65% of Africans are faced with insecurity. In fact, our youths are migrating with the infamous Java syndrome common among us, and this harms the mission and vision of ACTA. Are we pleased that our best talent is leaving Africa? Considering our counterparts in other continents that prioritize youth development, Africa must do more. The Nigerian government has implemented programs like the National Youth Policy to empower youth. We aim to collaborate with similar national agencies on youth development. Excellencies, Nigeria calls upon all African leaders to empower Africa by prioritizing our youth. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative of Ministry for Youth. Ministry for Foreign Affairs.
Excellencies, heads of state, fellow delegates, and distinguished guests. Today, Africa continues to face the challenge of poverty, impacting millions across the continent, which hinders our progress. Nigeria, as Africa's largest economy, is committed to AFTA, which offers opportunities to the continent at large. Over the past decade, Nigerian government has worked to reduce poverty through various initiatives such as the Empower program in 2016. More recently, Nigeria has focused on economic reforms such as shifting from oil to compressed natural gas. Nigeria urges her fellow African countries to partner to create a free Africa. As I end my speech, no nation thrives in isolation. That's why together we can achieve this goal. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative of Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Representative for National Orientation Agency.
Excellencies, esteemed attendees. The National Orientation Agency plays a vital role in bringing the government to the people, shining light on government actions and making it more accessible. With offices across the 36 states of the Federation, the National Orientation Agency aims to inform citizens about the opportunities available to them. Through various programs, including public awareness campaigns, skill acquisition and training initiatives, we strive to empower our youth to break free from the shackles of poverty and unemployment. The National Orientation Agency seeks collaboration with national agencies to harness the opportunities presented by the AFCFTA, because we believe that by working together, we can enhance skill development programs and increase awareness of the government initiatives. It is time to declare a state of emergency on poverty in Africa and take action together to strengthen and empower Africa. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative of National Orientation. Representative of National Productivity Center.
Chairperson, honorable leaders of the African Union, distinguished delegates and esteemed guests. It's a privilege to participate in this discussion as we confront one of Africa's greatest challenges, the poverty crisis. Over 400 million Africans live in extreme poverty, surviving on less than $1.19 a day. Poverty is not just an economic issue. It's about that mother who can't send her children to school after working tirelessly. It's about that young graduate that is looking for opportunities but can't find any because it's just 1 in a million of the unemployed youths in the country. Through sector-specific workshops, we have helped farmers, entrepreneurs, and business owners boost efficiency and market access. By improving productivity, we can lift families out of poverty and create hope. Productivity is about the people, so we must invest in skills and innovation.
The AFTA gives us the chance to collaborate and ensure progress reaches every corner of our continent. In closing, let us act by investing in productivity and creating an Africa where no one is left behind. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative of National Productivity Center. Representative of Niger.
Good day, Mr. Chair. Good day, my fellow honorable members here present. My stand is that it takes only one nation to change a continent and sling it out of poverty. In Europe, it was England and France. In Americas, it was the United States of America. In Asia, it was the Asian tigers. China, Taiwan, and Japan inclusive. And in Africa, I believe that we, the nation of Niger, using our vast natural resources and human resources, coupled with the fact that we have currently gone through a current revolution, can take the wheel in Africa's economic development. But this cannot be done without the implementation of a free trade in Africa. And I beckon on this House to consider this innovation for the betterment of Africa's economy. And I believe that Africa can overtake the Americas and Europeans as the top economic powerhouse in the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative of Nigeria. Representative of Nigeria.
Good day, Honorable Chair, Your Excellencies, and ladies and gentlemen. I am deeply honored to address you all as a representative of Nigeria, Africa's largest economy. I reaffirm our commitment to peace, stability, and economic cooperation. We prioritize our territorial integrity, regional integration through ECOWAS and the African Union, climate action, counter-terrorism, and human rights. We hereby seek to strengthen bilateral ties with our allies, promote intra-African trade. It would interest you all to know that we have signed the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement to facilitate this in July 2019. We also seek to address regional security concerns. Let us work together to build a peaceful, prosperous, and progressive nation. Thank you all.
Thank you, Representative of Nigeria. Representative of Rwanda PLC.
The Honorable Chair, my fellow delegates and leaders of the future, I stand before you today as the delegates representing Owando. Here at Owando, our mission is to deliver sustainable energy solutions to our customers while contributing to the development of the communities we operate in. Over the decade, Owando's Community Development Program has positively influenced over 400,000 lives across various initiatives focusing on health, education, and infrastructure improvements. Poverty is a shared problem that affects us as a collective rather than as individuals. That is why we at Owando support the African Continental Free Trade Area. The ASCFTA creates a unified market across the 54 African countries, and I believe that a win for one is a win for all. Before I leave you today, I want you to know that our differences do not divide us, and our diversity is not a deficiency. Let us work hand in hand to transform and actualize this continent as the giant that we are. Thank you.
Representative of Rwanda. Representative of Benin.
Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and my fellow colleagues. I'm here standing before you to represent the Republic of Benin. Today I want to address the critical issue of poverty in the Republic of Benin. Despite making strides for economic growth since the 1990s, poverty has remained a pressing issue that has challenged nearly 40% of our population. Although there is hope in Benin as we have through our cotton industry development and port activities, we still have very pressing issues of poverty in the Benin Republic. What we need is sustainable commitments to education, agriculture, modernization, and rural development. I call upon my fellow delegates to let us unite to prioritize the poverty reduction and foster regional cooperation. Thank you.
Representative of the Republic of Benin. Representative of Rwanda.
Good day, Honorable Chair, esteemed guests, and distinguished ladies and gentlemen. As a representative of Rwanda, I believe every one of us here will agree with me that the main causes of inflation in Africa the main causes of poverty in Africa is inflation, which is mainly the supply side inflation, a situation where the demand is higher than the total availability of goods and services. However, Rwanda is a proactive participant in the AFCFTA, aiming to boost intra-African trade and create new job opportunities. Our national strategy focuses on key sectors like agro-processing and light manufacturing, which will enhance our economic growth and development. Rwanda has also made a significant stride in reducing poverty, which is the Vision 2020 Umurenge program, which has been instrumental in providing social protection and economic growth. In conclusion, Rwanda's commitment to the AFCFTA and our innovative way of creating employment. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative of Rwanda. Representative of Senegal.
Good morning, distinguished guests, fellow delegates, and organizer of the African Young Diplomats Forum. Senegal, my dear country, is known for our rich cultural heritage and a vibrant history. Indeed, we've made significant strides in our economic growth and development. We have embarked on an ambitious 25-year plan development strategy that is aimed at economic sovereignty and sustainable resource management. With our real GDP now projected at 6.1% in 2024. Unfortunately, the poverty crisis in our country still remains a pressing issue, as 50.8% of our country's citizens are struck with poverty. So, the AFCFTA holds immense potential for Senegal and for boosting our intra-Africa trade and economic growth. As we all gather here today, let us all commit to working together to address the poverty crisis and to leverage the opportunities presented by the AFCFTA. Together we can create a brighter future for Africa. God bless the Federal Republic of Senegal, God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and God bless Africa. Thank you.
Representative of Senegal. Representative of Secular Energy.
Honorable Chairman, my fellow diplomats and distinguished guests, I stand before you here representing Seplat Energy. Seplat Energy's primary aim is to meet Nigeria's energy needs in a responsible way. To support poverty reduction through youth empowerment, Seplat Energy's PLC partnership with not-for-profit organizations through Seplat Global Entrepreneurship Fellowship Program, which was tagged the Conversation for Change, the C4C. Youth empowerment can be made feasible through 1. Building workshops, 2. Equipping, funding and mentorship, 3. Scholarship opportunities, 4. Job employment and opportunities for youth. All Africa. Thank you.
Thank you, representative of Secular Energy.
Chair, distinguished heads of states, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to attend this historic summit as the president of Africa's youngest nation. In South Sudan, over 60% of our population lives below the poverty line. This is not a mere statistic. It represents the lives of millions who struggle daily to meet their basic needs. We must acknowledge that these injustices of war have robbed our people of their future. Although domestic challenges have hindered us from signing AfCFTA agreements, we believe that it is a gradual process. Every state has its own priorities. It is not about when you start, but how you finish that counts. Let us not forget that South Sudan's success is vital for Africa's prosperity. We must ensure that this high tide carries all the boats. Just as Nelson Mandela said, overcoming poverty is not a task of charity, it is an act of justice. I'd like to yield the rest of my time to the moderators. Thank you.
Representative of South Sudan. Representative of the Gambia.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, today marks a key moment for Africa. We gather not only as leaders but as caretakers of a continent with potential. united in our pursuit of progress. We, the people of Gambia, reflect on our difficult past. For 22 years, the dictator trapped our nation in poverty, with nearly half of our population living below the poverty line by 2015. Today, the Gambia is on the rise. Over the past 5 years, we have invested nearly $400 million in infrastructure, cutting poverty rate by half. The AFTA promises even more opportunities for shared development. The Gambia reaffirms its commitment to AFTA's development. Let us work together to fulfill our commitment for the development of Africa for Africans. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative of the Gambia. Representative of Togo.
Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, as a representative of Togo, so I'm here to discuss the poverty alleviation in Togo. The crisis in Togo primarily stems from political instability, social unrest, and economic challenges. So I would like to address these issues one after the other. So we have political repression. The government, led by the President Faure Gnassingbé since 2005, has faced accusation of authoritarianism and electoral fraud. 2. Social unrest. Protests against the government have often been met with violence, leading to a cycle of unrest. 3. Economic hardship. High employment and poor living conditions exacerbate discontent among citizens. So here are the potential solutions to the issues. Political reforms. Implementing constitutional reforms to allow fair elections and limit presidential terms could promote democratic governance. Dialogue and negotiation. Encouraging dialogue between the government and opposition groups can help address grievances and build trust.
Thank you, Representative of Togo. Representative of Total Energy.
Honorable Chair, esteemed delegates and leaders, I stand before you as a representative of Total Energies. I address the poverty crisis in Africa and our commitment to combating it. We recognize the hard work of our policymakers and aim to support them through our social corporate initiatives. These initiatives provide scholarships, clean energy, job opportunities, and many more. Our scholarships, which have enabled over 40,000 Africans in achieving a master's degree, has proved to be a transformative investment in African education. We are excited to launch a hydropower project in Uganda, which generates clean energy and job opportunities for over 500,000 Africans. This, we believe, will address the issue of unemployment, which is in alignment with the African Continental Free Trade Area, a movement that proposed to uplift 30 million Africans from extreme poverty. After a an agreement with a pathway to unity and prosperity. In conclusion, we seek your support to expand the vital projects across Africa, benefiting our communities and encouraging development. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative of Total Energy. Representative of Uganda.
All protocols duly observed. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I represent Uganda following the delegate of Total Energies to highlight the issue of poverty and one of its primary drivers, insecurity. To address this, Uganda implemented programs like Operation Wealth Creation, resulting in a 36% reduction in poverty since 1992 and a 0.6% GDP growth projected to reach 7% by 2025. However, we cannot succeed alone. Uganda fully supports Africa, recognizing its potential for Africa's economic integration and poverty eradication. Its success, however, hinges on securing our nation's excellencies. Let us unite our efforts for a secure, stable, and prosperous Africa. Thank you. I give my remaining to the moderator.
Thank you, Representative of Uganda. Representative of UNESCO.
I am delegate from UNESCO. The United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, a specialized agency of the United Nations, play a vital role in Africa's poverty alleviation through initiatives in education, science, culture, and social inclusion. Our aim is to tackle the root causes of poverty and support sustainable growth across the continent. While tackling root causes of poverty, we provide policy advisory services to African governments, helping them implement effective poverty reduction policy. Through collaboration with our 194 member states, We hope to achieve a holistic approach to poverty alleviation and creating a resilient economy for a more prosperous future. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative of UNESCO. Representative of UNDP.
Good day, Your Excellencies, Presidents, Head of States and Government, esteemed delegates, representatives of various organizations, ladies and gentlemen. The United Nations Development Programme is fully committed to Africa's sustainable development. Partnering with the African Union, we are working to make the AFTA a driving force for economic recovery, particularly in the wake of the COVID-19. Our number one goal in accordance with the SDGs is to reduce poverty across 46 African countries by leveraging intra-African trade to create jobs and promote inclusive growth. We've seen the success of our initiatives in countries like India, China, and Cambodia, where millions were lifted out of poverty. By focusing on capacity building, skills training, infrastructure, and governance reforms, these nations achieved significant progress. In conclusion, with Africa's leadership and collaboration, we can replicate this success and ensure AFTA delivers tangible benefits to millions. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative of UNDP. Representative of UNICEF.
Honorable Chair, Your Excellencies and esteemed guests, UNICEF takes the floor following the delegates of UNDP. In 1990, Africa pledged to protect her children, with 50 of 55 states ratifying the African Charter on Rights and Welfare of the Child, symbolizing their dedication to child welfare. Today, over 30 million children suffer vaccine-preventable diseases. One in every 4 children wasting in sub-Saharan Africa, and nearly 2.9 million precious lives lost to malnutrition. We appreciate the dedication of African states towards creating a more sustainable environment for our children. However, we need urgent and collaborative action. All 17 development goals are designed to ensure the well-being of every child, but this requires collaboration. If we delay, we jeopardize our future, and these children are our future. UNICEF stands to act with the visionary leadership of Africa. Together we can bring hope. Will you stand with us for every child? Thank you.
Thank you, Representative of UNICEF. Diplomatic stance is never good.
I think it would do you well if you can jot down my observations. Number one, dress code. Every parliament has a dress code. So you do well to find out what the dress code is and then dress appropriately. I don't know if you've heard at the National Assembly where new legislators come in and they are not appropriately dressed, and the Senate leader or the majority leader, whoever is in charge, will send that person out. So if we were to go by that, so many of you will be out of here. Because I'm very sure that you are informed of the dress code. So it is very important for you to dress appropriately when you're coming to Parliament. So take that note. Number two, address protocol. In every gathering, there's an address. I'm happy a couple of you said I stand on the existing protocol. So if you don't know the protocol, you should leverage that to say I stand on existing protocol. And I guess you didn't have a full understanding of who you are, because I hear some address participants as heads of states, and then others address as representatives, and others address. So exactly who are you? Are you ministers of your countries? Are you heads of states of your countries? Are you ambassadors of your countries? That has to be defined. You know, in as much as the global community works on the basis of diplomacy, choice of words, choice of nomenclature are very important. It can start Third World War because somebody was addressed the way he shouldn't or she shouldn't be addressed. Or somebody takes privilege that is not given. You understand what I'm saying? So what you would have asked at the beginning is, who are we? Are we coming in as ambassadors? Are we coming here as parliamentarians? Are we here as heads of government and all of that stuff? So moving forward, when you go into another session, all of this will need to be clarified. Clarity when you speak. Pronounce the last D, the last T, the last, you understand? Many times when you speak, you start, it's clear, and then it goes down, and we don't hear what you say at the end of the day. The last dot is very critical in your speech. Otherwise, you may not be heard well, and if the reporters are to report you, they will report amiss. And then it will be up to you to go to press and begin to say, that's not what I said, this is what I said. By which time you will be devaluing your country. In delivering your presentation, marshal your points. It's your points we want to hear, not necessarily your sentence, how you construct your sentences. Because if your points are not clear, how do I support you? How do you expect another country to say, okay, I'll work with you? And the critical points, your priority areas should come first. Because of concentration span and time constraint, you have just 1 minute. So I want to hear the first 3 important things from your country before somebody distracts me. But if you save the major priority areas last, yeah, 1 or 2 persons might be distracted. So we are at this level, we want to achieve this. This is our constraint. But if you put all your constraint at the top, it might not just work out. Then you need to have catchphrases that will enable your target ally, your potential ally, to remember what you said. So it's not only in music that you have catchphrases. In my younger days, I know this Majel Freshers on Send Out the Rain. I don't know if any of you know it. But I don't know any other section of that song. But once I say Send Down the Rain, my generation will remember Majel Freshers. So it's not only in, I think in music you have the stanzas, isn't it? And then you have the chorus. The chorus can be a catch, you understand? I think in rap you have what is called the hook. You don't know any other music, but the hook you keep on when it gets to that point. It's the same thing as a diplomat. When you're speaking, you want to drop 1 or 2 things every once in a while. If you remember when I was talking to you about Lati Portion, okay, I knew that you're not going to remember everything I said. But there were a few names and a few activities that I kept repeating, if you remember. That's all I want you to remember. not necessarily my long speech. So if you're talking to me there, what do you want me to remember becomes your catchphrase. So every time, whatever you say, pause, I repeat that thing, and then move on. Pause, I repeat that thing. That's what I will take home, okay? The next one is, it is important when somebody is on the podium speaking, or a country is presenting, it's important for you, the delegate, to take down notes, because you don't know who your ally will be. You understand? You are here to sell your country. So if I'm going to give this, what am I going to get? So Cameroon is presenting this. That's a critical one. Let me just note it, so that when it comes to negotiation, it is this I will use to bring Cameroon to my side. But if you don't remember what the other person or the other country has presented, you go, it will become a bandwagon effect. Oh, that's where West African people are, West African countries are like, okay, let me go to West Africa. Ah, this is South Africa, okay, let me go to South Africa. No, I won't go to, UNICEF. UNICEF will give me money, let me go to UNICEF. But what has UNICEF said? And then you go to UNICEF, you become the underdog, because you didn't catch what UNICEF said that you used to hook UNICEF. As an UNICEF, I heard you went to Ethiopia and you went to this, you didn't get it, but I can give you this that you are looking for if you give me this. That's why it's important to take note. You don't shut off when another country is speaking, just waiting for your turn to speak. Lastly, that presentation you're making it to sell your country, not to put down your country. Many of you were putting down your country. There's a particular one, I hope you will take it in good faith, because I'm not criticizing any of you. This is your first attempt, and as you move on, there's one particular one. As he was talking, I was saying, I hope this person has his international passport and his family are already outside the country, and he has already made arrangements with another country for asylum, because he is not going to be received back in his country. They will execute him immediately at the airport. He messed up his president. He made us believe his president is a dictator who has been in power since 2005. No election. He finished his president and he finished his country. Then he now said, this is what we... And he offered certain solutions to the problem of his country before a global assembly. You think that president will be your friend again? No, you're not here to kill your president. Your president is the best. Yes, your country has constraints, but your country is the country where whatever investment is made by other countries, they will yield the things that they follow. Then, please, I didn't hear anyone, maybe the organizations said it, but I didn't hear any country sell. What are you selling to me? What you're talking about is, this is how you get property. Do you have gold? Do you have oil? Do you have lithium? Do you have, what do you have? Ceramics and all of those stuff. And you researched your country, you didn't research the other country to be able to say that my country has lithium, my country has ceramics and all of that, that I know your country will need. You mentioned the country. I know Togo, I know Ghana, I know this, we need this, and my country has it in abundance, and I know that if Togo, Ghana, and this can come to my country to, to trade, we will be able to we'll be able to buy these that we know that Ghana, Togo, and you understand what I'm saying? It's a market. You're putting something on the table, you're expecting something. So to lure that person to your side, you should be able to identify that you have need of this, and I know that presently I am your neighbor, but presently you are buying from Algeria. And these are the logistic problems that you have buying from Algeria, where you can buy from me. And in buying from me, I will exchange it to buy this from you. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not theory, it is market. Because when you get back to your home country, your president is going to say the extra code that we gave to you, which foreign direct investment is coming in. You understand what I'm saying? So these are observations that you should take note of. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I hope the observations have been well taken. Some we addressed during our brief chats to university, but I'm sure now you're practicalizing everything. It's clearer now. So we're moving on to the next. If you look on the screen, we're done with the diplomatic stance. Next, we're moving to amendments. And the amendments in this case, because it's a simulation with universities, we are not going to work on a resolution that's already done. We're going to let you form that resolution. So before we start, we're going to vote. There'll be opportunities for you to move motions and to propose the timeline and the timeline for the formation of blocks, and then after that you propose the timeline for the resolution discussion. So now we are going right into voting for the timeline to form the resolutions. But first of all, I need someone to move the motion for us to go to the next stage of amendments. Who's moving the motion for?
I'm moving the motion for us to move to the next stage of amendments.
Thank you very much. Who's seconding the motion?
When you want to move the motion, you stand. Then you say, I. You give your name, representing the state and government of Mali, hereby move the motion for whatever you are moving the motion for. And whoever is going to second also, I. You give your name, representing the government and of this country, hereby move and support, second the motion to do this thing.
I, General Assembly of Mali, move the motion for us to move to the next stage of amendments.
State Minister, President of the Republic of Burundi, hereby seconds the motion to move to the next segment of the Parliament.
Okay, by the time we're done here, I'm sure we'll be sure aspiring diplomats. But please, let's keep following these rules. Before you raise your card high, you're picked, and then you get up and speak. Okay? All right. So next, we need a representative to move the motion for the time. The time we will spend in forming the blocks. Representative of Ghana.
I then also move the motion for the time frame to be 30 minutes to deliberate on the forming of blocks.
30 minutes. Any other suggestions? I can see you. Representative of Uganda.
I, Yoweri Museveni, representing Uganda, support rather second motion of representative of Ghana for the time limit to 30 minutes.
Okay, any other suggestions? Is 30 minutes 20, 10? All right. Representative of Nigeria.
I, Ese Oganawatu, representative of Nigeria, hereby move the motion for the timeline to be 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Any other suggestions? Representative of Senegal.
I, Honorable Esther Adesoi Ayobami, representative of the government of Senegal, hereby second the motion for it to be 20 minutes.
20 minutes. All right, so we're going to vote. Or we have any other suggestions? In the absence of any other suggestions, we're going to vote. All those for 30 minutes, raise your cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 for 20 minutes. For 30 minutes. All those for 20 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 for 20 minutes. So the 30 minutes have it. We can, so with the formation of blocks like we were advised by our facilitator, these sessions are a good time for delegates to find allies. It's a good time to form blocks as well as compare notes, and you compose your notes as well. After that, we come back, sit down, and then we agree on the time we're going to spend for the draft resolution. The floor is hereby open. Then the delegates are 32. So you will form block of 8. Right? So that will be 4 blocks, and you will be 8 members. The floor is open.
Observers, please. No, go ahead. Delegates, go ahead. I'm talking to the observers now. Observers, you can stand up and join all the other groups just for the purpose of acquainting yourself with how these blocks are formed. You are not part of the blocks, but you learn a part of it. You have to discuss and then have it come up with all of it.
time to discuss. You have the floor, sir.
Okay, please. Another observation I should take note of. As diplomats, you are supposed to keep to time. So time management is very important. Once you say 30 minutes, please 30 minutes, 30 minutes. You voted for 30 minutes. Okay? Now, one house, you're not supposed to speak except you do this. Okay, now, today is Friday, and some of us might be going to the mosque. How many of you will be going to the mosque? Can you indicate?
Have you forgotten?
Okay. So now this is it. I think I'm told that the mosque time is 2 o'clock. So we barely have 1 hour to that time. But if we can finish before that time, fine. If we cannot finish before that time, then one of you will do this, and then ask to be excused. And then you go, and then your colleagues will finish up for you and brief you. And based on that, you're supposed to appoint sponsors of your resolutions and all of that stuff. It wouldn't do for you to nominate somebody who is going to the mosque, because it might get to that person's turn and they want to leave. You have to nominate 2 persons who will not be going to the mosque. For those who are going to the mosque, you will observe what the sponsors are doing before you leave, so that you gain that experience. Is it okay? Well, where we can finish before 2 o'clock, all of us will be carried along. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So, each block is meant to appoint 2 sponsors. Now, what's the function of the sponsor? The sponsor is the person that would facilitate deliberations and build relationships, lobby for votes, because at the end of the day, each resolution will be voted for. Now, and the sponsor, they are not the financier. It has nothing to do with money, but it has all to do with advocating and making sure that your resolution goes to the next stage. After that, the 2 sponsors that are picked are going to be the ones that will present the resolution. An important point is the submission of the resolution. Your resolutions will be accepted only within the time frame that you voted for. And anyone outside that time frame is disqualified. So it will also be read in the order of submission. Are there any questions? Questions? UNICEF.
If I wish to withdraw my voting rights, do I have the paper to distribute? Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. So, the issue of the prayer time has been addressed. It's not supposed to affect the block. We'll take this into consideration for future simulations. So once you need to go, you let us know. But make sure your sponsor will not have to leave, because your resolution needs to be presented. Okay, so I need someone to move the motion. We need to move the motion for resolution discussion. Ghana.
I, Nana Akufo-Addo, representative of the government of Ghana, move the motion for the deliberation to be 5 minutes. Thank you.
Alright, so I need someone to move the motion for the resolution discussions to begin. Uganda.
I, Alan Henry, move the motion for the resolution discussion to begin.
Alright, who seconds the motion? Ministry of Youth Development.
I, Tanya Jingozi, second motion of the resolution discussion.
Okay, thank you very much. So the resolution floor is open for discussion. So next, I need someone to move the motion for the time that will be spent for these discussions. Who moves the first motion? Mani.
I, General Asini Weta, representative of the Republic of Mali, move the motion for the discussion to 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Any other motion? Any other time? Uganda.
Sorry, before I talk, Ghana has a question. The resolution discussion, is it for formulating and typing and submitting?
Yes.
Okay, then Uganda would like to move the motion. I, Amakam representing Uganda, would like to move the motion for 25 minutes.
25 minutes. And note again, it's for discussion, preparation, and submission. Any other? Okay, so we vote. 15 minutes. How many support 15 minutes? 25 minutes? 25 minutes it is. So, your time starts now. Okay, go ahead.
So, when you begin the deliberation, appoint a secretary who will take notes, because you don't have time. You don't have to complete your deliberation before you begin to put down your points. So the moment you get one point, nothing, that will aid the time of preparation. Secondly, remember what I told you, your priority areas should come on top. Then the lesser points should be under. It will pay you as I'm sure you've been advised on how to write a resolution. When you do that introduction, then go to that paragraph that says, we hereby resolve as follows. Put it in bullet point 1, 2, 3, 4, so that there will be no long grammar. Remember, it is for acceptability because we are going to vote on it.
Thank you very much, sir. So we're going to have an example on the screen on how the resolution will be written. So you write your block name, but on the screen you will see committee. That represents block. Then you see, I think it's about to come up. Yes. You will see the topic, you put the topic. Then the main subscribers, that's the stuff for sponsors, right? Then signatories are the member states and agencies, organizations, okay? But the language, you just adapt that. That is a different resolution, but you adapt the language, the way it starts, all right? Now with the signatories, you can lobby for more votes amongst different blocks, because your resolution will be voted for. You can't say we are only going to vote for ourselves, but you have to lobby for group votes as well. So use this 25 minutes very well. And then at the end of the day, if there's some dispute with which block wins, we will use 2/3 of the total vote to measure which will pass. All right, so your time starts now. Any questions? We're good? All right, your time starts now. Was there a block here? In front here? What block was on this first row? Block 1. Stand up, please. Who are the sponsors? Just one sponsor?
No, two of us.
All right. What's the name of your block?
African Development Committee.
What?
African Development Committee.
Okay. Is the resolution ready?
Yes.
All right, sit down. The block that was behind block 1. Where are the sponsors? What's the name of your block?
Security and Economic Development.
Is the resolution ready?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay. Was there a block here?
Yes.
Sponsors? Okay. What's the name of your block?
Regional Resource Corporation and Development.
Regional
Resource Corporation and Development.
Is your resolution ready?
Yes. Yes.
What was the fourth block? So the last block, where are your sponsors? What's the name of your block?
The Unity Block.
Unity block.
Yes.
Your resolution ready?
Yes.
Okay. You can sit down. So we're going to move the motion to go to the next stage, which is the debate. So who moves the motion for us to start the debate? Wando PLC.
I, the delegates of Owando, move the motion to move to the next stage, the debate.
Who seconds the motion? Owando PLC. What's your name? So, the way you were taught, the way we were taught today.
I, Wale Tinubu, the representative of Owando, hereby move the motion to move to the second stage debate.
Thank you very much. Who seconds the motion? Media.
I am the representative from State of Government of Libya, ever seconds the motion to debate.
Thank you very much. So, the debate floor is open. Block 1. And make your presentation.
The Chair, Your Excellencies, and distinguished delegates, I greet you once again. The name of our committee is the African Development Committee, and we hereby resolve as follows. We are willing to combine our resources and ideas in combating poverty through commercialization, industrialization, and partnership. With our ample supply of gold, cotton, iron ore, and agricultural resources, we will facilitate our ability to advance our commercialization, industrialization, and technology through our regional partnership. We aim to create an African peacekeeping force which will enable us to protect the after-trade routes and create a united front against neocolonialism. Our military capabilities will enable us to see this through.
Furthermore, we aim to increase accessibility especially for women and children through we aim to increase accessibility to education, especially for women and children. We understand that these groups of individuals in the African society have been greatly marginalized. Hence, the importance for increased accessibility to education to improve their technical know-how and increase their knowledge in other sensitive areas. We also want to adopt a fiscal policy to reduce dependency on the foreign system which has been established by our colonial masters. We intend to adopt a united African financial system which will enable us to transact with a single currency based and only for the AFTA agreement. We retain that each country has the right to retain their sovereign financial structure. Hence, AFTA as a platform, we advocate for a single currency to enable trade within AFTA. Furthermore, we advocate for the removal of extreme trade regulations to promote the free trade amongst our countries. We understand that most of our countries, we have very strict policies on exportation and importation. Hence, we advocate for limited restrictions on these policies to address the issue of free flow of trade and, of course, knowledge, technology, and other important resources. Finally, we advocate and we solicit for the vote of each member state seated here. We believe in the potential of Africa. Africa is not just a continent. Africa is a powerhouse. Africa belongs to Africans. Africa belongs to the world. Africa can project her power. We are not just a continent with resources and we cannot manage these resources. We have a voice. Let us use that voice. Let us promote Africa. Let us grow Africa. Let us strengthen Africa. And let us make Africa the powerhouse that Africa is. Thank you.
Can we have a solution?